destruction. Heroes gather, but they are not the heroes of the tales of old. They are a new breed, because when the world has ended, surviving makes you a hero.
Oh, stop. Okay, and welcome to Saturday Stealing for Survival, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. 2013 release. And we're using blue dice. I'm Travis. I'll be your host and dungeon master. Or the guy that stares at these things till they do something and I get to react. Let's just go around and start with... Oh, wow, everybody's name is in the wrong place. Andrea, let's start with you. Well, thank you, Chris. Appreciate that 22-month streak.
My turn. Are you done?
Well, Chris just subscribed for 22 months.
Cavalon has subscribed for 22 months in a row. 22 total. Talk of cheers, love.
I think there's only like one or two more people as longer than he does. And that's a streak. He hasn't missed a single month.
So he's streaking?
That's about to change.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
So, Andrea, introduce yourself.
Hi, Andrea Lachat here. I play Lolly Riverblossom. I wrote Cairn, thespian, wannabe, time traveler who has no idea what's going on.
Perfect. Chris.
I'm Chris. I play Kavlon, the Rocairn drunken monk. Yeah.
Perfect. John.
I'm John from Jersey's Cards and Comics and Conquest Publishing. I'm playing Jaith Firedinger, our Rocairn Priest of Jonathan.
Perfect. Aaron.
Hi, Aaron Kennedy. I play Moggets, the wizard. Scoundrel. Yeah, that's it.
Very good. Where'd you get your shirt?
Target.
Target.
Birds of Paradise. This is Magnum PI chic, not friggin' Miami Vice, despite popular belief. Thank you very much.
Did you say popular police?
That too.
We're going to stay away from politics this show. Thank you. Can I see the
Yes.
shirt? Because I can only see, like...
The color.
Yep. I will show it and my ass off. Thank you very much.
I like the way you did that little way. What, you pulled it up so we could actually see your ass. Oh, you got a little hairy spot there.
I told you I would show it and my ass off. Thank you very much.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to check Target in case
I've got a great shirt and a great ass. And you know it.
Maybe I should drink now.
What, you don't preload before the game? Because I do.
Yeah, I preload, but sometimes it's just not enough. Okay. So I saw Andrea just raise her hand. Were you wanting to do the recap?
No, I was yawning.
Yes, she wants to do the recap.
Uh-oh.
I was yawning. I don't know what happened. I said that in my introduction. Lolly does not know what's going on.
That's okay.
I am
neither do the rest
Lolly.
of us.
Well, let's see. Last time, we escaped from a rock by running down the side of a mountain and then getting under the giant machine that we were rescuing that was being held aloft by Lolly's umbrella. Jonathan made some harnesses so that we could carry it more comfortably the 2-day trip back to the cave of Silver Cranny. And we covered it in yak fur so that it looked like a giant animal, because that wasn't going to attract the rock at all.
Giant eight-legged
Didn't.
yak.
Yeah, rocks hate yak.
He couldn't smell what was cooking. It's okay.
And yeah,
That's
we
pretty much it, yeah.
returned it to Silver Cranny and then
Here we are.
We discovered
replicated a bunch of books and recipes and stuff and things then decided to go and try and find a portal that was in theory nearby to ease the travel back down to Dathon Pass. That's the place we want to go, Dathon Pass. I remembered.
Through the Pernium gates.
Sure. I'm 90% sure that's what happened last time.
You did very well. Just like last time.
Surprisingly well. Surprisingly well.
Well, I mean, if we look at like 4 weeks ago, yes.
Four bullshitted today.
4 weeks ago, Chris was on the same level as Lolly when it comes to recap. He's like,
Something happened?
I couldn't tell you what happened 4 weeks ago.
But as of last week and this week, Chris has been like, he's been on the ball. He has been the master of the recap. If we put those together, he's been the ball master.
You say ball
I
match?
don't have a lot going on. I look forward to D&D, all right?
That's
Me
okay.
too.
Good to know. Everything okay over there, John?
Yeah, they're gone.
So you guys... oh,
Kevin!
This would be a great job if it wasn't for the customers.
And Kevin does say, salutations, bold adventurers. I greet you from the future. Well, Monday morning. See, we just need to make Kevin a character, and on the Sunday nights he decides to like sit and chat. We'll just let him come on.
There you go.
Oh, this is Kevin. Kevin, he should come on now.
Well,
He
we
could
will
play
have a...
Fred. He could play Fred or Conscience.
Well, no. We can imbue him as a hat.
Or a magical weapon.
I don't think he wants to be your hat, Muggets.
Or immerse, or any of those things.
He can play Steve!
Steve.
Kevin, how would you like to be a 6-foot cock?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Steve is a-
Kevin says, I have no conscience, so it would be fun to play one.
I was surprised he didn't say why I have to cut off a foot.
No, he just said,
That's
again.
Steve.
Love Steve.
Okay, so I believe your guys' plan was to head east, out of the mountains, and then a couple days travel into what lays east of the mountains, which is Northwood.
We're taking a tactical gamble to save some time.
Right.
Yeah.
Find a portal.
Hard to port?
To the left.
To find a portal.
To find a portal. Yes.
Find a portal. Gotcha. Yeah, so you guys head off to the east, and you have a couple choices along the way. You could go like straight for the portal. You could swing by the Northwood community, which used to be a huge community of halflings before their race was obliterated and driven to extinction. Aphine and some humans.
Do we really want to wipe out the last of the halflings?
No.
I think that sounds like evil. We're trying to stay on the straight and narrow and be good people.
That's too much, work. I'm not trying to do all that.
Right.
I'll just move on. Kevin says we're all halflings to him. If we ever get people hanging out here on a regular basis, anytime we're in town, I should just assign people in chat roles in the town. Then they have to type a whole bunch of shit while you guys sit there and wait to find out how much your goddamn coil of rope cost.
50 copper? That's highway robbery.
Who uses copper anymore? So, yeah, you could stop by the large Northwood community, or you could stop by looking at the maps, non-PC NPCs. Well done. Looking at the map, like I said, there's a large community you can swing by. You can avoid that and go straight for where you're pretty sure the portals are. Or there's a few other odds and ends here and there that you could swing by. Preferences?
Hey, Jay. Do we need to set up a temple here?
No, we're setting up one in Northwood. Why?
But I thought there was no one in there. Isn't that an abandoned city?
We'll find out when we get there.
Oh, is that where you're taking us first? Great. You have been to Portal. I have not been to where portals are, so I'm following you along the way.
Me too.
Lolly knows what Portal is. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
talk
fair.
about where we're going. Off to Northwood.
Very good. You guys head for Northwood. After about a 3-day trip,
3-hour tour.
you know, a little more than
Is there
a
an
day.
exceptionally old tree that we see along the way?
Yes.
Perfect. Hey.
The
Kavlon.
tree doesn't answer.
No. Hey, Kavlon.
Yes.
See this tree?
Yes.
He has been stalking the friggin' Rocairn for centuries. He's part of a larger spy network. He needs to go down.
You're not jumping down giant tree.
I'm not saying chop him down. I'm saying punch him down. That's part of your training.
I already did plenty this morning while you all were sleeping.
A real monk
The rest of day.
is doing constant training. This is an opportunity.
Punch the
I mean,
tree.
if you don't want to, you don't have to. I won't think lesser of you. I won't.
I might.
But the trees
Great, let's
around
keep
this
moving
guy,
then. And I
they
kick
might,
Steve-
and they
I
might
kick
spread
Steve
word.
to walk faster and just ride ahead.
As he calls after you, trying to convince you that you don't have to hand chop down the tree. But, okay, yeah. It took a little more than a day and a half to get out of the mountains, and once you did, there was some rolling foothills and a short bit of grasslands, but by the evening of the second day, you were setting camp on the edge of the forest. There were howls and sounds of predators. Sounded like mostly wolves, except they had an odd gurgle to their howls.
Oh, good.
Allergies.
Sea wolves.
Sea wolves?
They hang out. Sea wolves. They hang out in the lakes. That's why they gurgle. They go. Because it's hard to howl while you're swimming. How do you guys not know this?
I don't care.
Okay, well that explains you.
I don't visit the land of useless facts often.
Yeah, and of course you live underground, and you guys don't have lakes there.
Are you taking the first watch?
There we
I
go.
know.
No.
Last watch.
Question from the audience asking who had mucus wolves for August on their COVID bingo?
G2.
So, well, at this rate, Kevin, the answer to that would be all of us.
Apparently.
I want to know what happened to the murder hornets. Like, where'd they go?
We just call them hornets, sir.
The wolves ate him.
Yeah, the
Mucus wolves ate the murder hornets. Great. Good to know.
had an allergic reaction. That's why we have mucus wolves.
No,
God.
just so you know, there is a species of hornet that lands on a friggin' tarantula's head, friggin' hardwires into its brain, and then takes over and runs it like a drone.
I like to think of it more like an RC spider.
Yeah.
They have little racing tracks that they go to.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm not joking. That exists.
Hmm.
No, I believe you. I'm picturing races.
Well, I think Travis had somebody on his stream that was eating all the murder hornets because they like bugs for food and stuff. That was yesterday.
Yeah, something poetic. Yeah, was discussing the delights of crickets. Oh,
Nom
see?
nom nom.
What's a punch-up wasp, Kevin?
We'll give Kevin a moment to answer what a punch-up wasp is. You guys reach the edge of the forest, and it's one of those huge forests that, not so much on the outskirts, but as you get deeper in it, you know that the trees will be so wide that the four of you holding hands couldn't encircle one. And the Northwood community...
Try?
Well, of course you can try.
Okay.
Make a hug roll.
Three huggers.
That's right.
Nope, you're right. We couldn't.
No. Not unless you got the Mr. Fantastic powers. Okay, right, losing track, sorry. Northwood community, big trees, redwood type things. Right, when the Northwood community existed, as I said, it was a group combination of halflings down at the base of the trees, Aphine up in top of the trees. Actually, it's more Decium, which are the wood elves as opposed to high elves. And Kevin has clarified, it's smaller than a hornet, and instead of murdering you, it just kicks the shit out of you and nicks your beer money.
I hate when that happens.
I believe that would be the wasps that translate to white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. AKA the Irish.
When did they learn how to fight?
What?
Did they learn how to fight?
Them's fighting words. Ever since her first drink of whiskey, John.
There you go. After the doctor slapped them on their ass and they started breathing.
There we go. And
That's when they were.
Kevin has clarified that WASP is an acronym for We Are Sexual Perverts.
How do you know?
We are.
So I guess we've all had a little wasp in us at some time. Anyhow,
Yeah.
large trees, community. Jaith says it's apparently gone and abandoned, but you guys are going to go investigate. So in the beginning of day 3, you guys are heading into the forest. Is there any special preparations anybody would like to make when traveling through the forest as opposed to the mountains and rolling hills?
I will
I'll
ride
put-
on Steve instead of next to Steve, or instead of walking next to Steve.
Andrea, what were you saying?
I'll put on my walking boots.
You want to tell the group a little bit about them?
They're made
They're-
for
they're-
walking, and that's just what they'll do.
Mm-hmm. And she puts away her talking boots, which friggin' really didn't say a whole lot of note.
Moving on. Anybody else got any special preparation?
Just H.
Okay, moving on then. Kavlon and Jaith has nothing. So, yeah, you're heading into those woods. It's interesting because the rolling hills continue into the woods. And these trees, as they get larger, as you move deeper into the woods, they actually start growing across hills with the roots going into one hilltop and another, and there being a passage underneath it. And the road actually goes underneath some of these trees. And the part that would have grew down and touched the ground had been cut away to create little tunnels, little short tunnels. Is it
Are there any
Kavlon that...
signs?
Oh.
Through the mountains.
One thing I'll say is, guys, keep in mind, just like with the other shows, if everybody is talking and you need to get a word in, raise your hand, recognize somebody if they raise their hand, so they know they're going to get... Andrea, I heard you about the signs. I just figured since it's happened a couple times already tonight. And the second point of that is, just make sure we ask Andrea what every couple seconds in case we miss something.
What?
What?
Um,
What?
so yeah, there are signs. There's multiple kinds of signs. There are signs of recent travel along this road, as well as wooden signs pointing, how many kilometers to the next town, which would
Do
be
any of them
north.
say no long-haired hippies allowed?
No. I have nothing clever to add to that.
Okay.
Too many words.
And as you guys get closer, during that last day, you actually see signs of a patrol. Now, have any of you ever been to the Northwood community previously?
Not in this time.
Probably not.
Nope.
Not that I'm willing to admit to.
It's a good definite maybe. Does that mean Moggus is going to offer advice about where you guys are going, or not?
Oh, dear God.
I've got to fill water. I need you guys to talk amongst yourselves about
Yeah, yeah.
something for a minute here.
Oh yeah, no. You know what? We've got to be careful out here, okay? The halflings, they're little cannibalistic bastards. You got to watch out for them. Friggin', they're just as soon chew your kneecaps off as trade with you. Now, if they do trade with you, it's friggin' awesome. They're gonna give you everything that you ever desired, and I mean everything, from chocolate to friggin' chocolate. You name it, they've got it for you. I mean, it's awesome. And this is amazing stuff. I mean, amazing stuff. Friggin', you ask for a massage, you'll get everything you ever asked for. And I mean everything. You don't even have to ask for it. They're just going to give it to you. They'll give it to you, but now be careful. Make sure you're laying face up, not face down. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Just got to be careful, all right? Now, when you ask for a drink, watch them make it. Watch them make it. Okay? Don't say, oh, no, it's a secret ingredient. Don't trust them. Okay? Just say, hey, stick to the recipe book. My recipe book, not your recipe. Huh? Roofie. You see a roof around here? There's no roofs.
It's in the drink.
Okay. As he rambles on, as you guys are heading in, and Kevin, subscribe. Well, thank you, Kevin. Did you purposely wait for me to leave the room so I wouldn't notice? Well, I did, sir. And thank you for that. So, Lolly notices signs. A
Everywhere.
crossroads sign. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. If you guys will excuse me for a moment,
Oh.
I'm going to take care of a different sort of adventure.
Adventure! Alright, so, here's the number one thing, okay? You've got to save, you've got to store your money someplace safe. And that's part of the reason that you got to lay on your back when you're getting these special massages.
Prison wallet?
Whoa.
I
was
don't
just
like
gonna-
using that wallet.
Well, I was just going to say, put it in a belt and lay on your back. But you do you.
Are you talking
Okay.
about our boobs?
No.
I thought the halflings and others of this area had been wiped out shortly after the talisman came back.
How old do you think I am?
We won't talk about that.
Not that old.
Eh.
Okay. Let's
Look,
try this
I'm not
again.
saying I killed all the halflings, but I didn't kill all the halflings. There were still some around when I left.
Lolly points out. Well, Lolly, do you point out the sign or do you just absorb the information? She points it out, apparently. Pointedly points it out. And there are 3 wooden boards on this crossroads sign. One says Northwood. 75 kilometers that way or whatever. Another one says Halfling Burial Mound, 20 kilometers that way. And the third one says nothing, because the direction it's pointing is overgrown and somebody has burned the words off of it.
Let's go there.
Or let's not go there and just keep going. I would
Continuing.
like to get back to Dayton Pass to start brewing and gathering materials for magical.
Actually,
Is it
Jake-
so burned that we can't figure out what was on it?
couldn't you mend it?
Give me
Well, no. Then it would mend over the wood part that got cut off.
Investigation roll, please, Jaith.
18.
You lean into it. It was a longer name. Looks like 3 syllables. Sounds
Starts with.
like murder hornet. No, a bee. Not a murder hornet. A bee. Yeah, you're able to kind of muddle through and looking at it. You're pretty sure it pointed to something called Border Town.
Now I can't
Not Funky
remember.
Town.
Now, Jay, I can't remember. Friggin' these little cannibalistic friggin' halfling yahoos.
You're right, you can't remember.
They were totally into Jonathan, weren't they? Or not? I mean, could you go to the burial ground and like and have more followers? Or would that be like evil?
Evil in what way?
I mean, could you bring them back as like little cannibalistic murder halflings, or would they come back as skeletons?
Aaron, that's how you get Dark Sun.
Dude.
Do you want Dark Sun?
Sometimes.
Well, that's what I'm asking him. In not so many words.
I don't know, I've never brought them back. Not my specialty.
I mean, we could find out what happened and avenge their deaths.
Ah, we could. Travis, do I know anything about Border Town?
No, you're familiar with Northwood,
very
but
well.
considering you never visit Northwood, you don't really know anything about the surrounding area.
Okey-doke.
You can give me everybody if he's, calling it out. Anybody know anything about Border Town? Everybody can give me a roll. Somebody rolls super high. Give you something.
For like history?
Yeah, history will work. Anything else that seems to apply, just let me know so you're not like, I rolled acrobatics, I got a 27. I know something.
I'll make
I
it.
rolled a 16 for history.
I got a 12.
Anybody else rolling anything?
I got 8.
Rolled a 2. I know all kinds of things.
Yeah, Border Towns. Does the patrol look like it goes into the Northwood, though?
The
You've
patrol?
seen signs of patrolling?
Oh, yeah. You would guess that's out of Northwood.
Okay.
Looks like there might be some inhabitation still going on.
I think we should go to Northwood and we can find out what's going on in Border Town.
Sounds good to me.
I head towards Northwood. 70-something kilometers up.
The activity of the local predators get a little more active as you guys get closer, but nothing really approaches you. You just see more activity as it gets closer to town because, of course, as you get closer to large developments, you get more scavengers, thus you get more predators. It happens. But they're not necessarily looking to attack somebody who's apparently aware, has a fire at night, and that sort of thing. You guys are, you would guess, not too far from Northwood community. As I say, the activity picks up. You actually see other people on the road before reaching the town. And, I guess you think you're probably about an hour out. And the unique thing about Northwood is like a lot of the Dacian things. They try to blend with the environment, and you start to see the rope bridges and walkways above you. You know, a la Ewoks or the 1980s Robin Hood thing. Which, like, where the fuck did they get a mill to cut those boards? Come on. Kevin says a bunch of predators attracting scavengers. Look out, guys. You're headed towards the British Parliament.
Big Ben.
Parliament. Okay. As you get closer to the city, there is a voice that calls out from above. And it sounds
Well,
not terribly intense or anything, and it's got a light musical lilt to it. And it says, "Hold where you are, state your business."
Well, I will stop.
It comes from above.
Okay. I'll look up. We're just travelers coming to rest.
Coming to what?
To
Says it-
rest.
and that's a different voice from behind the first one. They're coming to arrest somebody? Are they bounty hunters? And the first person you can actually see looks behind him, and you can see that, you know, naturally annoyed stance that people get when somebody else is talking when they won't even fucking get up to do the job in the first place. And then looks down and he says, "Who are you arresting?"
We are not arresting anyone. We are just traveling through and need somewhere to stop, rest, possibly restock some rations before we move back on, heading southward.
Very good. And did you bring tribute?
I don't know
Tribute
who
to
that is.
what?
Northwood community. To partake of the protection of the community, you will contribute before even entering.
Yes, and
And-
I pull out some of the leg warmers I made.
And the second voice behind him is going, "Who the fuck are these people? They don't even know that." And again, you get that annoyed glare as the guy looks behind him at whoever else is talking, and he's like, "Can you just let me, okay? Just, if you're not gonna..." And then it falls silent, and he still has that tense, you know. Then he turns back, looking off the platform they're on. You have knitting. Very good. And do you have enough for all your companions, or will they be offering their own tribute?
I just have 2.
We also have butter.
He has butter.
We have lots and lots of butter.
You can hear the other voice going, "Ooh, butter." And the first person ignores him and says, "Very good. Tell them when you reach there, Willow Waddle.
Okay.
But you must reach there before nightfall. Do not go off the path."
Okay.
Is it almost dark?
No, you've got like 7 more
So I
hours
don't
before
have to
dark. No, there's really, and you're probably an hour from the place, if that.
Okay.
An hour at the
path
Mulget
clearly
shuffle
marked.
speed. Yeah. He waves his
'Cause
arm
we're
down the.
stupid. Like really stupid. Like we're really, really dumb.
Just him.
Lolly whispers, so nobody can hear her, let alone a guy 30 feet up a tree.
Now, Trav, are they humans? Elves?
No, they're fucking elves.
Yeah, you would guess from, and again to clarify, there are two types of elf type creatures. If you imagine the high elf versus the wood elf would be Dusium, and the high elf are Athene. So when you hear me refer to the two, just remember Dusium are more elemental based, more Native American, tribal. If we're comparing them to human races, that's what we do, as well as maybe Middle Eastern, your nomadic tribes through the deserts and that sort of thing. They're in the more harsh climates.
Well, I mean, I thought Moggets might have been through here because the guy that's annoying the other person up there might have been,
Human?
partially human or whatever, and he bred here before.
It sounds like it, but yeah, you'd say the other guy. I mean,
Entirely possible.
You can see him, when he leans over and he looks to see him, and his accent definitely says to see him. So, yeah, you guys head on down the road, or perhaps you even get on down. Get on down. Get on down.
The road.
Get on down the road.
There we go. As you
Well, not
all...
straight from the path.
Hmm?
No strain from the path.
No, but you are traveling with the Wiz. Just
No, but I
asking.
might have whiz.
Okay, you guys travel another hour. Again, now you're traveling with a smattering of other people. You do watch one caravan pull up to a fenced off area between a couple of trees, 3 trees, and the gate opens and they bring the wagon in, and you can see the elevator, the levered pulleys and whatnot for an elevator as they start to transport supplies up. And by the time you get to the city proper, you can see the remnants of the Athene society that was here 30, 40 years ago. Hold on, fish. Stop being a dish. So, yeah, you can see the remnants of the Athene artwork and whatnot, but the Doceum have apparently just taken this over. There are large platforms suspended by ropes above you between trees. There is the walkways around trees. There are huts built on jutting branches. Unlike the Ewoks and Robin Hood, though, they're not just like, here's a tiki hut on a branch. It's much more flowing and joined with nature as opposed to, let's put a human structure in the top of a tree.
Well,
Yeah, you can see water collection systems set up and whatnot, and everything is at least 30 feet off the ground, and lower branches are very much cleaned up and kept cut. So, not that you couldn't climb the tree, but it's not going to be a super easy task.
And they've got an elevator right there.
They have, well, you passed a couple elevators, but once you get to the main town itself, now they don't have elevators big enough for wagons, and there are a few buildings on the ground level. But very few, and they seem to be mostly stable type situations, and even those look like they were probably dug out by the halflings at some point in time, because they're more of a storm shelter type situation for the animals than an above ground thing. And with things have gotten more and more dangerous since, well... but yeah, there are elevators that you can take up, and when you approach one with your large chicken, and what's the deal with Merce?
still in purse form.
Purse form, very good. The guy looks bored, doesn't even look up at you. He says, "Tribute in the barrel." Drop your coin. Get on the elevator. 12 to the elevator.
Okay, so I drop it. Whittle waddle.
He nods and grunts, not paying much attention as you throw your knitting in there. Aaron, you might want to be more considerate than dropping butter in there, but I leave that up to you.
It's in wax wrappers.
So you're just dropping the butter in there.
Hey, butter.
Nope. Michael.
Huh?
He looks up. Oh, you have butter. Fish. No.
I thought you were looking over there for the conversion rate of butter. Use the elevator.
Oh, yeah, I guess just set it on the, no, don't put it on the table. Put it in, no, there's a, here, just behind me there. Put it on that shelf over there next to that tin of whatever that other person brought. And it's,
I'll put a yak fur in the bin.
okay.
Or many.
You guys are
What
shown.
else is up on that shelf, by the way? While we're looking there, I will do a quick glance. I won't take anything, but I will do a quick glance to see if there is anything worth taking.
There is an ornately carved brick. There is a canister, a metal canister of milk. Other than that, there looks like there's a sack of something metal, and at a quick glance, you'd say it's probably iron nails. And not much else.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, you guys get on the elevator. There's a young, strapping youth there. And he nods and smiles at each of you individually. And considering
How you
there's
doing?
3 other people besides you, he's like, fine. Welcome to Northwood Community. And then he goes on to chanting a bit of magic there. And then puts his back into pulling the ropes to raise you guys into the air. The magic seems to be some kind of alteration to the levitation spell that seems to link it to the ropes to make it a little easier for one person to pull this thing all the way up and all the way down. And it seems more of an activation mechanism than a casting of a temporary spell. Jaith remembers some of the larger cities. There was only a handful of them on the continent, but some of them had incredible amounts of day-to-day magic. Some would have, a whole series of light crystals set up. So when you just pulled a little lever on the walls, like a 3 or 4 inch lever, all of them lit up at the same time throughout the whole house. It was amazing. They had literal metal plates that you could put a pot on and it would heat up when you again flip the lever. Big on levers. They're like little teeny levers. They were very adorable.
Ooh.
They hadn't got to knobs yet. That technology wasn't out.
Yeah, switch it.
That's right. So anyhow, you guys make it to the treetop level, and the young smiling man gestures to the walkways and says, "There you go."
What would be a good place to eat, good sir? Something to...
My favorite place, the inn. Definitely. Yeah. Do you need a place to stay too?
Of course.
Yes.
Because the inn has that too.
Oh.
So you're in luck.
Great. Which way to the inn?
And he gives you very specific directions. Go to this walkway. When you see the 3rd rope bridge, take it across, and you'll hit the Nexus platform with 6 other things. You want to take the 3rd from the left, go down, and then you want to find the 2nd largest tree just past that. It's pretty easy. You'll see the signs. And yeah, you've got reasonable directions. So down this many across here, third on the left, 2 trees,
And then that's
find the inn.
And then look for the signs. All right.
Great, thank you. We will head to the inn.
Very good. It
We'll
is.
take note of anything that's unique that we pass, just in case.
You'll do what to anything unique?
I'll take note if there's anything,
Ah.
any interesting shops or anything on the way there.
There definitely is, and there's also water stations on a pretty regular basis. A lot of the platforms, they're all angled slightly, so they all tilt towards the tree. The tree it's attached to. The only ones that are not tilted like that are the ones that are suspended independently over open air. And those tend to be more of a nexus thing. You'll get a couple food carts and whatnot on there, or odd vendor here and there, but you don't get permanent buildings built on those. For the most part, it's more of the tent city situation. But yeah, you see, there's a lot of wood crafting stuff here. Anywhere from chests to, bows and, of course, arrows to go with that. And doesn't seem to.
One of the bower kind of guys, somebody that can do like collapsible bows and things like that, may want to duck into one of those when the opportunity presents, just as a side note.
Okay, you don't see a lot of metal work here. So, I have never encountered a wooden bow that is collapsible.
Until now.
And the Magic Sea community seems to have, appears to be mostly for functional items as opposed to, dazzling things.
That's okay. That's okay.
Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, you don't really see anything like that at a glance. Maybe you could find it if you hung out for a few days and asked around, but off the top of your head, you're not seeing it. John, for interesting things, a lot of basic stuff. You seem to be on essentially the main roadway. There are other humans here. Not a lot of Rocairns. Matter of fact, over the trip to the inn, you don't see any. Over the next couple days, if you stay here, you'll only see 2 or 3 others besides you 3. Mostly to
Are
see
we
them.
getting stares and things as we go? Or
And more of the stranger danger stare than look at that freak stare. You have your cautious town folk everywhere you go, but you're not necessarily getting picked
well,
out.
yeah, I'm walking next to like an 8.5 foot tall bird.
Especially with his platform shoes on. Is your bird 8.5 feet tall?
Like the top of his head would be 8 feet. Yeah,
Oh, I thought he was like 6 feet.
they're big birds.
Apparently. It's you guys make it to the inn. The inn itself is, a lot of these structures are tiered structures. Kevin says, I like a tall bird. A lot of them are
Sure
tiered
doesn't mean broad.
So the structure will probably jut 15 feet away from the tree, but it'll be on 3 levels and it'll be tiered. So you'll actually have... We've all seen steps in tall ships, yeah? So they're short steps, rather steep, and they'll just go up, 5-6 feet, and you've got a new level. And that's what you're looking at with this bar. So where other people are walking is your eye level at your table and that sort of thing. So though it's 3 levels, you're not necessarily getting a 30-foot tall structure. It's still just a 20-foot tall structure. They just tier it that way to fit more people in. But yeah, it's rather bustling, and there is, in your trip you probably passed 60 to 80 people, and in the inn and tavern. There's probably 30 or 40 people in here as they're ramping up for dinner and the day's work is ending.
Well, I'll ask for an open table so we can have a place to sit and something to drink.
They look you guys over, and immediately the man you spoke to calls to a serving woman who leads you up to the 3rd tier. Pros and cons on this: ceiling's a little shorter, doesn't really matter to you guys though. But on the other hand, you can also see everybody across the room because you're at the top. So
are they allowing the chicken?
I leave him outside, like tied up to whatever.
Poor
Everything's
Steve.
outside.
Well, like off to the side, like not taking inside the inn. You know, there's a meeting area near the platform. Let him curl up.
in a big nest where he could snore like his yellow cousin. It's so the same woman that seats you, she is a Dacium, and she has the common tattoos of her tribe, as well as the other stories that their tattoos like to tell. She does not have anything below the elbow or above the collarbone at this time, so a lot of them, you can see them across her belly with the bare midriff and whatnot. And her hair is braided in a traditional wreath pattern that speaks that she's not attached. And that's just basic knowledge of the Dacium people in this area, that most of you should know one way or the other. She says,
Okay.
and what can I get for you?
Are there menus there, or is there a board?
There is a board as you look across the room. Above the bar, where most people would have a mirror, they have a large chalkboard. And yeah, there is, various pork and chicken, no beef. Looks like there is some venison. It's a little expensive. And prices are marked by pluses, ranking it anywhere from 1 to 5 pluses. So some of your basic, mead, you're looking at is 1 plus. If you're looking at venison, it's 5 pluses.
Do we know what their money system is here?
A lot of the world goes on barter.
Barter.
Okay.
And that's basically, you're seeing a ranking system for how expensive things are. So depending what you want. And when you're not known, it is pretty common for them to ask, what are you paying with? What are you trading with? What are you offering before they give
Hey,
you?
Moggets, you're paying, right? You got butter.
I got butter and I got hides. Do they need
There's butter in the kitchen. Let's barter with that.
I'll ask her, are these coins, are these gems tradable here?
Yeah, I've got some gems in my pockets too.
Yeah, we can use the metal for crafting and whatnot, that's for sure. But if you have any steel, we'll treat you like kings.
Do I have any steel?
I don't know. Do you?
I think we actually have some old swords way back when we fought those gnolls.
Don't ask where I'm keeping mine.
I've been carrying, well, yeah, we've been carrying around for fuck's sake ever.
Well, he looks for that.
say-
I'm gonna grab my drink.
Okay, yeah, it is
Let's say I
almost
have
9
a steel dagger.
that you would want
Let's
to
say
give up.
Huh?
That you would want to give up.
Yeah, just something I found that's in my boot. Just a little one.
Got something stuck in my boot. What is that? Doink! It's a dagger.
Just a wee rusted one.
So she's dropping down a steel knife then. Jaith, what are you whipping out? Anything or nothing? Or you gems and coins?
I just have the coins and the gems. I didn't loot the gnolls or whatever.
Aha! We have a short sword.
Excellent.
So I'll rummage through and pull out the older short sword. What will this get us?
She looks through, looks at the assorted piles of gems and reaches down and moves the coins and gems around with one finger. You definitely don't get the feeling she's trying to steal anything from you guys. And she says, what are you looking for that you're offering all this?
Hot meal, place to stay for the night, and possibly some directions?
And a stable.
Well,
I would like a stable.
yes. My bird, she's got a animal companion as well.
One night?
For now.
She takes Lolly's dagger and takes your short sword. Looks down at Jace's pile of this and that and Mogget's butter. Takes the butter and looks over at Jace and again kind of scrambles through it and separates one pearl and kind of slides the rest back, and she says, this will get you the best we can offer in accommodations. I'll have you said it's a bird?
Yes, if you look down over there, his name is Steve. He's very friendly.
Large bird.
And
And
there's,
Yellow bird.
and there's Steve leaning into a window.
Hi, Steve.
And this. And I,
She does that, and I slide more of his stuff back over.
and I hold up my merce.
All she took was one gem, one dagger, one short sword, and a thing of butter.
Right, I slide a couple more of his coins back over. You'll probably need those for Steve.
Oh, to her. I thought you were saying away from her. She says,
And this.
and that.
Where's the stable?
You need your purse stabled?
Yes.
Trust us.
That's
Trust us.
It's unlikely on your first night here, but I'll see what I can do. Trust costs extra. Usually it's not payable in coin.
How about butter?
That's why we pay butter.
By the way, this is the last of your butter.
That's why I've got furs.
I have been super fucking kind not to ask where the 4.5-foot dwarves are keeping all these furs, butters, and swords. So we're gonna be
In my purse?
just a little more strict on that.
Hey, there's a reason I haven't been pulling swords out of my ass.
Well, especially
Butter, I can.
since Kavlon now has
Ew.
about 45 pounds worth of books on him.
Well, probably most of those are in the saddlebags attached to Steve. But he also got a keg on the other side of things.
That's,
And he ain't
so
gonna trade them anyway, so.
yeah, probably with that much weight you can't ride Steve. With that much extra weight on it. Except for a short burst or a small distance, something like that. Yes, Jaith.
When she wanders off, do we want to look into Border Town, or are we just going to get the information about the portal and leave?
I don't see any reason why we need to go to Border Town. If you want more information, I am not opposed, but I think we should get back. I want to, continue perusing these books and start acquiring materials as soon as I can.
Well, what do you need for materials?
Oh, well, that is a good question. I've only made it through one book at the moment, so I haven't delved. I'm still reading more practice of preparation and actual materials yet. But I will spend some time this evening reading, and I'll let you know.
Let me peruse. I can go through and help.
Sure. That was not sarcastic, sure. I will, yes, take help.
She returns, bringing a tray with fresh baked breads, a bowl of berries, some leafy greens.
Well,
Yes, Andrea?
she brings bread. He gave away all of our butter. What the hell?
He probably could scrape some off the inside of his bag.
Yeah.
Not
Or off
touching
his
that
teeth. Point is, you get kind of the starter meal. There are a wooden and ceramic pitchers and cups that she sets down. She says, I know you're Rocairn. Do you drink mead?
Oh yes, I like meat very much.
Is mead
I've
okay?
heard of it. I'll try it.
And you're human, so there's no telling what you'll put in your mouth. Is mead okay?
I like meat.
Very
Tastes like
good.
pickles.
And this is the proper attitude for you people, right? You like 'em crusty and nasty to you?
What?
You Rocairn, and you're traveling with a dirty human, so I assume you usually... The bad attitude is what you want, is that right? No
Not
for the woman?
necessarily, no.
No. What about the old greasy man? Bad
He has
attitude?
bad attitude sometimes, but we can't help that.
I mean, you people are known for your crude humor and habits and whatnot. If this is offensive, you need to tell me. I don't like treating you like this, but if that's what you want, I'm here to serve you.
We do not need any special or different treatment than anyone else who would come in.
Yeah, but you're going to eat the meat, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear he really likes meat. She points at Moggets. See, I knew it. Dirty, filthy humor. I'm not wrong.
You're not.
She says, I'm just messing with you. I know what a Rocairn is, and I know you bathe in chilly, icy streams and then cut glass with your nipples. You bearded bastards. Why didn't you shave those things off and put a tattoo on your face like you should have? And then she turns and wanders away again. You could comment back to her. She's not pointedly ignoring you. She's just moving on.
Dacium 4.
Everybody give me a
Very
perception
strange
roll.
people here.
Perception roll, folks.
Perception. What is perception?
Wisdom. It should be on your sheet as a separate thing near your saving throws, just to the right of your stats or somewhere in there.
Yeah, you would think.
Plus 3, 21.
20.
Jaith?
26.
Moggett?
20.
Wow, you all look at each other going, that was not the same chick. It looked like the same chick. But as you guys are commenting and leaning over the table at each other, you're like, no, this one had like a different shade green trimming her vest, and the other one had like that style boot. They're really similar. These are two different chicks. What?
They're clones.
Or twins. Or siblings.
Same thing.
It sounded like Dacium 4 play to me, so anyways. And the other one's not... Actually, did she look like she was single also by the tattoos?
Yeah, they had very similar tattoos, and their hair was definitely done the same way, and it's the hair thing that's the giveaway of social status, if they're dateable or else if they're taken. And you know, once they are attached to somebody, they don't actually get married, they get attached, because they do believe in people growing separately and moving on to a different partner that grows in the same direction. And also, they tend to wear a certain side braid, one per child. At least in this region.
15.
No, these are Fey breed. They are not having 15 kids. Like, if you see 3, people are like, wow, are you okay?
Is everything okay at home?
So, especially considering it takes longer for the children to mature. Not terribly longer. I mean, it's only like a half dozen years more. but it's a bit of a slower growth rate, and they do stay home longer, well into probably their 40s before they're expected to go out on their own. 40s minimum.
Oh, you mean like humans?
Modern humans.
Like humans now.
Yeah.
But they're also known to live, a couple of centuries. Not so much anymore. Nobody lives a couple of centuries anymore because of the world, but,
Betty White.
that's true.
Remember,
Careful.
Betty White was born before fucking sliced bread.
Uh-huh.
She predates.
Predating is a good idea. It's how you get to know people before you decide to eat with them.
Yeah.
Anyhow, now that you guys are paying attention, the first girl comes back, and she does have a plate. They are venison steaks. They are small. I mean, if you guys have it, no, not that small, Andrea. They're not like a meatball each. But like a 6-ounce filet mignon. It's 2 inches thick, but it's only that round.
Yeah, it is.
But there is plenty of boiled carrots with syrup, and there is plenty of potatoes with a lot of butter. And of course, there's mead. They do have berries, so there are other alcoholic drinks if you guys are looking for something in particular. And the pleasant young lady, who's a bit more withdrawn and shy, tells you your room is being prepared. There will only be one room. And your animal, you will have to guide it to the stable, but they have a boy waiting to show you when you're ready.
Sounds great.
Okay. And I feed some berries to the Merce.
Do you want to take your animal to the stable like right away, or do you want to just leave him outside the window with the passing crowd?
I'll leave him out there until after dinner.
Okay. Anything in particular with dinner, or shall we just jump past that?
Feeding the Merce to see what happens.
Real quick, if anybody needs to take a momentary to go fill their drink or empty their bladder, do so now. Aaron, I did get 2,000 plus words in. Aaron,
Nice.
did you see the covers?
Yes, I did.
Kevin says nobody
27?
talks about how, after a nuclear fallout event, the new human race will be descendants of Betty White and Keith Richards. That's cute.
I'm pretty sure everybody already is.
So, Kevin, I'll say this once, and then you keep it in your head. If you decide you want to play the D&D game, let me know if you think you can make it on any kind of regular basis. If you want to do a one-off, you got to let me know, and we'll figure something out for that too. It's yeah. So, anything you two want to do during dinner? Besides Mogget's obvious bullshitting.
Well, no. I am going to ask about friggin' if there's like anybody that makes clothes or anything like that, friggin' just tailor type thing.
That you're definitely going to be able to find here, especially a lot of leather goods. There's Scribblers. Richard, speaking of Richard, only played one game since college, huh, Richard? Scribbler Society, his name is Richard. Gummy bears? Where the hell did I put them? Oh, here. There you go.
Don't eat all the red ones.
No, those are the ones she likes bestest. So, I only get one or two of those each time I partake of gummy bears. What the hell does yogle mean? I'm gonna Google that shit.
What does what mean?
Yogle, Y-O-G-A-L.
Nobody knows.
Somebody else.
Well, Apparently it means yo gal, which is like a yoga woman. That would be great. Can we have a yoga woman?
Where would we keep it?
Under the couch. They fold up.
I guess.
Touch.
Anyhow.
Hang out with your Merce.
Then there's Yogalicious. Yogalicious leggings.
What?
It could just be Scribbler's personal greeting that he made up.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, it shouldn't be any problem finding stuff like that. They don't seem to have a lot of grains. They probably rely on getting grains from trade as well as cotton from trade. So, Aaron, you've seen some linen.
No, I'm after cotton.
You're after cotton. So it might be a little more expensive of a trade in this area. But, I mean, they're going to have some. They are a larger community still. You know, in the outskirts as you're coming in, you saw a lot of broken down or destroyed things. You saw some of these huge trees, off to the north as you were heading into town. You saw a huge swath of these trees that had all kinds of new growth because apparently something... Okay, good night, Scribbler. Let me know what Yogle is when you have a moment. So, they're limited. But apparently they do have gardens of some sort because the greens are good. And the carrots and whatnot. And there's peppers and onions and whatnot. Okay. So afterwards, actually you're about halfway through your meal when 3 men step in. And you guys notice them. Everybody notices them. They're all 3 Dacium. And they look around and they're like, who does the giant... They look around at each other. Bird belong to?
He belongs to me. Why?
You may want to come remove him. He has been attacking people to get a hold of their plums.
Steve.
I'm so sorry. I will go take care of that.
Thank you.
Like, their plums?
Maybe. Don't ask, don't tell. And the 3 men move to the bar and speak with the bartender. They're not looking at you or gesturing at you. It's a very different feel from the human culture. I mean, people definitely, instead of glancing secretively over your shoulder, you saw people at points in time take a good 90 seconds to look you guys over without glaring, just observing, and then kind of give a nod, not necessarily to you, just like, okay, and then turn back to each other.
Take Steve food.
Yeah, I'll
She likes
take
plums.
Steve some of the fruit, and feed Steve fruit on the way too.
Don't take any of the chicken.
It's only 1 bridge away, and it's more of a vendor's stall that's set up as a bit of a stable.
I'm gonna go too.
Oh, okay. As you 2 are traveling along, you hear somebody behind you gasp.
I turn around. What do I see?
You see a young Dacium pulling away from his mother, and he runs straight at you. You think it's a boy. Hard to tell. Pretty androgynous at this age. Then they skid to a halt, probably 10 feet from you, and they just stare. And they're like... They say in an odd tongue. Do either of you speak Elvish?
Yes.
Nope.
Like it. Nope. Well, Lolly will understand it. The child says, "You're like me, but rounder and hairy." Are you goblins?
Queen
No.
of the Goblins?
Lolly.
I'm their queen, but I am not a goblin. I pat him on his head.
And he pats you on your
Their
head.
head.
He's like, is that a goblin greeting?
Yes.
Yes.
What kind of magic do you have as a goblin queen?
I can't tell you.
And the mother has come up behind him, and she's got a small smile as she looks back and forth between the exchange. And she says, "Are you finished?" And the child says, "No?"
I give it a little merce puff, and then I walk away.
Okay.
Who are you?
The mother wishes you a pleasant evening, and the child echoes the farewell in the Dacian way. And you guys wander on. When you guys drop off, Steve, when you go back, you see, you're pretty sure it's the same child. But he's got two others with him. And they're off up against a tree trunk, and they're pointing at you, and he's just chattering excitingly as he's pointing at you and telling, obviously, the story of meeting you guys. And you guys make it
Great.
back to the inn.
Well, we already went to the stable. I didn't do anything yet.
Oh, what did you want to do at the stable? I'm sorry.
Well, I wanted to get there and speak to the boy that was waiting for us.
Mm.
And as he's standing there staring at me, I want to reach in and reverse the merce.
Wait,
Reverse the merce.
with the young child or the stable person?
The stable child
Okay.
person.
It's the boy. You're pretty sure he is the same one that was on the elevator platform. So, you know, he's taller than you, but you'd guess he's 30, 35 years. You know, I don't know. You have to cut a
They're all
Dacium
12.
open and count the
Okay.
rings to figure out how old they are.
So I just reverse the merce
Mm-hmm.
and say, take care of him.
Is that one of the Muppet creatures?
Mhm.
From the Isle. Did you go to the Isle? Are they still there?
No, this one's here.
Where did you meet? And he's speaking to the Merce now.
Good.
And
I'll
the-
tell you the story.
Huh?
I said, good. I pet the merce and he'll tell you the story. You be good. Have fun. And then I leave.
I'll make sure Steve is bedded down, comfortable. Tell him,
He
don't let
slept
him wander off.
He slept in worse places. Matter of fact, just 4 days ago. Okay, so you guys.
I'll remove his, saddlebags and all of that.
Right.
Stash them. in
Take the keg
corner.
off of him.
Right. I'm not gonna make him sleep with a keg attached to him.
Just books.
That's right. I assume you are you bringing your keg and your books with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Easy enough to sling them over your shoulder and balance yourself and stride through
And the
the
merce
air.
can have his
I mean, I
conversation.
could practically wear the harness.
Yeah. And the Merce, what, Andrea?
And the merce can have the conversation with the guy there, so.
Okay. Yeah, the Merce
Whatever.
can speak, so. But apparently this guy knows something of your Merce's people.
Mm-hmm.
And he specifically mentioned an island where they live to the south.
Is that where I got him?
No.
No.
It was like a different time, right?
Like a city. No?
You found him.
Yeah.
It was a random thing.
Yeah, I wasn't really there. So, okay.
So anyhow, returning to the inn. Is there anything you guys want to do before the end of the evening? You digging for information?
Yeah, I want to ask the nice waitress, where, tell her that we are looking towards this place that has portals and things to travel quickly, yada yada. Or if she knows anyone who would know where to find such information.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to ask the main waitress, where would I dump somebody through a portal if I wanted to get rid of them?
Okay.
Same question to the other one.
You'll have to ask that afterwards. Because they don't show up simultaneously.
Right.
They're taking turns.
It's like a
and,
Dr. Jekyll Hyde thing.
and he spoke to the nice one first, or the polite one. I shouldn't say the other one is mean. She's just a bit more outgoing.
Terse.
And the nice one says, "Oh, Elwind, he's our wizard here. I think he may have some human blood in him, so your friend Moggets might be able to speak to him. You know, in that special human language they have." Oh, you don't
Sure.
know about that. Yes, don't you know humans have a secret language that they share it with no other species?
I ignore all of the hand motions that Moggets is making.
She does not.
I-
She pays polite attention to each time he gestures anything. And smiles and
Because
nods.
she knows.
And she says, "Yes, Elwyn would be the one to speak to. He has been a wizard for at least 7 years, but he became a wizard after absorbing the soul of a different wizard. He's my uncle.
Oh, he's a sorcerer.
You'll see that human language I'm telling you about. He's just toying with us now. It's
Sure.
yes.
So he
where
bullshits
can
every
we
day
find-
too. Wow.
Find the wizard.
Oh, I could tell you exactly where he is. As I says, he's my uncle, and you just tell
Did
him.
not mention he was your uncle.
I did, but Moggets was being clever.
Well, no. I was verifying her story via the arcane hand gestures.
Of the humans.
And outside of her, there, Moggets, cleverly done with the soul server. Well done there. Yeah. Show some appreciation. She couldn't, but I will. But yes, if you have any such questions, he would be the best. The best in all of Northwood community to speak to about that. 7 minutes later, the other girl is standing there. And it always takes a double take and a moment of waiting. Of course, the attitude says it all. And she's like, I'm sorry there, human thing. You said something, but it was just noise. Try to enunciate a little more.
Oh, look, I'm trying to toss a guy through a portal. Where would I find such a portal?
Such a portal. Such a portal. Are you bringing your own man, or do you need a man supplied when you get there? Is this just like a cheap thrill?
Cheap thrill entirely.
So you need a portal that
I need a portal.
supplies-
We'll find the guy.
I was gonna say, do you
know
need a
what?
man?
No, because there's somebody going to show up. He's not going to have the tribute for this place, and I'll just toss him through. Or he's not going to have enough tribute to stay around long enough, and we'll just toss him through. I'm sure. You know what? Jonas provides.
You know, we just toss them off the edge of a rope bridge, and then when they hit the ground, it shoves their legs in. That's how we originally made the halflings here. You know that, right?
Oh, I heard. You know what? I heard you did that when the trees weren't so high, and that's how you got Rocairns.
That's just ridiculous. They were born when a rock and a weasel mated. It was a very cold winter.
Oh.
That's why they burrow. I heard that from a human, in case that's offensive, you Rocairn. You smell of salt, by the way. I don't
Probably
know if
heard
you
it from
realize that.
Moggets.
You're a bit salty. That's
There's
what
no
people
way
say.
you heard that from me. I would have written that under a pseudonym.
DM question. What was the wizard's name again?
Elwind. And he has a
Yes,
title to
Elwind.
go with it.
Oh, great.
The wizard.
It's soul.
With 2 Z's.
Only in the
And a
thing you
couple
write under your
parentheses.
pseudonym.
Is there a Q in that word?
No, but there are
There can
2
be.
of them in Moggets. But somebody smacked it so hard it turned around and now it's a G.
I can pronounce it however I want.
Yeah. His name was originally Mo Quits.
That's why I go peace out when I leave.
That's also why he goes, woo, 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 nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. Anyhow, okay. Yeah, pretty decent meal, well seasoned. It's always fun being Rogue Cairn. Well, Jaith, you pretty much have experience with this. Kavlon, not so much because of your upbringing with the monks. Lolly, not so much because you come from a different time where things are different. But a lot of the Rogue Cairn food tends to be pretty bland fare. But it doesn't mean you don't like peppers. That is still a very individual taste and whatnot. Your die-hard Rogue Cairns, swear by just mushroom gravy. That's all we need for any kind of seasoning.
A little bit of hardtack. Off we go.
But I leave that
Mushroom
up to you.
gravy over mushrooms. Yep.
So, that night you guys bed down in your hammocks. Who gets the top hammocks?
Well, they can't reach him, so that would be me.
I can climb, sir.
And you
Okay.
get the
I'm
other
not
one.
sleeping under you.
Again, because of low ceilings, they're not 12 feet up. The second...
Yeah, but it only has to be 4.
It's, yeah, the bottom is a pallet on the ground, and then just 3 feet above that is a hammock.
I'll take the pallet.
I'll take up that.
So they'll cuddle.
No, there's 4 separate sleeping areas in the little room, and the room is nothing more than an alcove with a curtain drawn across it.
Okay.
So, there's that. Anything I need to know before you all go night-night?
I will stay up and, quote, take a watch, but I'll start, continue reading through, like, I'm sure as we were traveling, I would be reading through the massive stack of books.
Right. I figured
Toss me
there...
one.
What's that, Aaron?
I tell him to toss me a book so I can start
Yeah.
reading and doing a material list for him.
Great. Start them at the beginning.
I figure it's
I'm
like getting
probably
3
like
or
the-
4 new D&D books. You flip through them all in the beginning, get an idea what's in them, and pick up tidbits, and then you go through them
Right.
fast, and then you go through them slow, picking out the stuff you really want
There's
to
no
know.
pictures in these books, right?
There is
Oh, yeah.
quite a few diagrams of how to, build the pieces, assemble the pieces. There is essentially spells in the book, which are not necessarily like, here's how to do a fireball, but how to create a reheating copper plating on the bottom and that sort of thing. It's, again, a lot of those mundane spells that would be equivalent to a first level at best. Probably more so a cantrip. And a lot of them do have to be reapplied. And there does have to be some ability of magic. Which, the fun fact is, almost anybody is capable of magic. How well they do it is a whole different story. And some people just... It's like math. Some people just can't fucking do math. But everybody can kind of do some math. Or knowing which way to go when you're traveling. Everybody can travel, just some people get lost easier. So, think of it that way. With these spells, there would be a natural inclination to magic, which I know... I think Kavlon would be the only one that I would have make any kind of... Because you don't actually have any spell abilities. They're all, like, monk-based abilities.
Nope.
So there'd be, you know, a testing point for you, and honestly, considering stats, you're probably not in any great danger of not being able to do these simplistic things. But it will not give you a level in income.
Anyone can do anything with enough knowledge, research, and reading. And I'm very good at research and reading. And copying. All of the copying.
You guys set watches for the night then, is that correct?
Indeed.
It's
Yeah, I'm not staying up.
it's a pretty quiet night anyway. You know, there is the occasional person passing on the walkway outside. Something you also notice about the Dacium, they don't seem to sleep as much as humans. There's definitely a downtime, but that downtime seems to be about 9 o'clock till 1, and then there was a bit of a pickup for about 2 to 3 hours, and then about, 3 or 4 they go back to sleep till sunrise. Not as a whole group, not like the whole... I've lost my dice box.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Cat. Rule it all.
I'll
The cat's in it.
just make up the rolls.
Yeah.
I'll go with whose line is it anyway rules.
Points don't matter.
That's right. Yeah, Zazzle got in it, and she looks too adorable to chase out of it. The next morning, you guys are provided with a meal. And there are eggs, and there is fried squirrel.
Ooh.
Now, it's a bit gamey, but all in all, not bad. They must have marinated
Steve
it.
doesn't lay eggs, does he?
What?
Steve doesn't lay eggs, does he?
He has in the past.
Oh
When
my
we
god,
were
is this
racing,
Steve's eggs?
His special race move was launching that egg behind him, if I recall correctly.
I do believe that is correct. He could do it once per race.
Well, we're not in a race, okay.
It's a special breed that does that. And apparently, that would insinuate that all the racing chocobo are female. Name Steve.
Her name is Steve.
Well, okay, it's kind of like friggin' reindeer. Okay, Santa's reindeer are all female because male reindeer friggin' shed their horns in the winter.
That's right. That's right.
Maybe they had implants. Don't judge them.
Not judging.
Kevin has clarified that squirrel is rank, hedgehog tastes much nicer.
Little hedgehog? Comes in a cup.
Oh, no. Not the African pygmy hedgehogs. He's talking about British hedgehogs. They're a bit bigger.
Are they?
They're beaver sized.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that's...
That's-
as you guys move around the town the next morning... now, are you guys planning to stay here this night? Are you setting anything up for that? Or are you just going to see what happens
We're
and then
off to see
decide?
the wizard.
We should go down, get breakfast, pay again for breakfast, unless whatever we paid yesterday will cover breakfast too.
It covers it.
It covers it?
Yeah.
Great.
That was
You
good.
do that, then head to the stable.
Then head to the wizard.
Head to the stable first.
You can go to the stable while we're finishing breakfast.
He's leaving Steve until you guys are leaving town.
Pretty much.
So there you go. And apparently, yeah, the stabling was included and everything also because you weren't asked what you can pay. So you would guess the way it's set up is they have some kind of trade barter with the stable for guests that need it. So yeah, you guys are able to find your way to Elwind the Wizard. He is probably a 20-minute walk through the treetops and 3 or 4 levels up. And he actually has his own little level. It's right by the door. It's how he makes sure his pictures are straight. And, by the way, I saw this really cool gizmo for hanging pictures. It looked like a lot of fucking work, though, and I'm like, I don't think I need that. but it would have hung him straight. But yeah, it's when you get up there, it's a shorter Dacium, so he's probably only 5 inches taller than any of you, except Moggitz. He's shorter than Moggitz. And he's a very thin man, and he's dressed in the common clothing of the Dacium, which means, buckskins and whatnot. And, yeah, when you walk up, he's sitting in a rocking chair. Kevin has clarified hedgehog is a gypsy thing, because you sometimes get them in rabbit snares. You pack them in wet clay and bake them in a fire. When they cool enough, breaking off the clay removes the skin and spines.
Oh,
Good to know. Leave it to the chef to fill us in on that. It's,
Oh,
So he's sitting in a rocking chair, rocking back and forth and smoking a long pipe. And he's got his hair pulled back into a ponytail. And he watches you come across the rope bridge. And he just sits there rocking and smoking and watching you get closer till you're on the landing in front of him. And you can see herbs hanging along the side of the tree. And he's got lattice work with different plants growing along it. And he's got some cages with some critters in it. And he does have a building built up along the side of the thing, but he's outside of it. At least you assume it's him. It could be his twin.
good morning. Are you the wizard Elwyn?
Oh, I am. Elwind?
Lovely.
Which means in your human tongue that you speak, the wind.
Great.
I know it's overly simplistic for compared to most Dacium names, but it is I, and I am me. And you all are a roving band of ruffians, yes?
I am me too.
I wouldn't go that we are ruffians. We certainly are a roving band of people.
Well, I mean, what we call ourselves, we've got a name, but it's complex and in the tongue that we use, but it translates roughly to murder hobos.
We're not really a band. I don't have musical talent.
Speak for yourself. I play several instruments very well.
Including the
I
triangle
have-
and the symbol.
Yeah. Anyway, it does not
Like
matter
a monkey.
what you call us. We are wondering if you have some information that we could trade for, I guess.
Without knowing your names?
Oh, I am
Yes.
Kevlar.
Oh, well, there you go. And the rest of you murder hobos?
And Polly and Muggets.
Well, no, collectively, the murder hobos.
We are not called the murder hole.
I don't know why.
I thought we were. I heard it somewhere.
Fine.
The thing.
Those two together are called the murder hobos. Well, by
Yeah.
themselves? Sure.
Very good. And I am Elwind. So,
Which means the wind in the human tongue.
it does. So what can I do by way of information to help enlighten you?
The murder hobos.
Stop it, Muggets. We are not the murder hobos.
Okay. I understand you're trying to change our image.
Anyway.
It was an early name, an early band name. We're trying to rebrand. I get it.
You can only play so many taverns as the murder hobos, okay?
Now we're just known as Slayer.
Nobody understood Twisted Sister.
You put one lady on the rack, and all of a sudden, you're murder hobos.
One malfunction.
Anyway, We are trying to get back to Dathon Pass. Some of our compatriots here have passed through a portal network that we know to be close by.
Are you familiar with the Perineum Gates? That is a rough translation for Mocairn.
He is still smiling at your guys' antics and puffing on his pipe. He says, I know of the portaling system.
Is it nearby? Can you give us directions there?
Yes to both. And is there more questions, or would you just like the directions now?
I mean, if you give any more information about them.
Are you familiar with how to use them?
We've used them in the past. I mean, badly, but we have used them in the past.
So you know about the activation.
Let's see, friggin' jump up, jump down, jump to the left, jump to the right, jump to the left, jump to the right. Select where you want to go, and then start forward.
No, I think you might have used something different. Nerd on. Well,
At
yes.
least that was the activation code for where we were at.
Very good. You're familiar with the jeweled platform that controls these things, yes? Well, that's been destroyed. So, now, there's generally 3 ways to do it. 1, you can sacrifice a holy animal of the forest. Usually a unicorn is acceptable.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
2, you can summon a demon because their natural energies and even sometimes their blood can activate these things since they're from another realm. I guess any
Not opposed.
extraterrestrial being would work. But demons being most common, people just say summon a demon to do it. 3rd, if you are somebody who can operate ley line magic or mind magics, basically if you are magically inclined to the point where you can use your magics to travel, that should be enough to activate the system.
Okay.
Now, along that line of thought, I am currently researching an item, actually a scroll, the scroll of haberdashery Leporetti. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It allows the members of the arcane like ourselves to manufacture a device that can summon with the aid of a puka lagomorphs. I believe those lagomorphs would be classified as demons for our purposes, and they could be sacrificed.
No, they're generally drawn from this plane of reality.
But are they?
Seeing that your levels, from what I'm able to grasp here, I would say the most powerful in the magics is this gentleman. You said his name is Jaith, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I don't want to
Easily.
sacrifice him.
And
Yeah,
then,
we don't want to sacrifice him. But...
No, I am not suggesting to sacrifice him.
Okay, good, because he'd probably kill you if you did.
I'm just saying you're probably the lowest in the magical ability besides you, Kavlon. Though I see the restful spirit in you. And restful, not restless, though you do have a bit of the wanderlust. It is so odd to see 3 Rocairns traveling the land. Well done. And most of you are still quite young. It's very impressive. I'm happy to see it. It does my old withered heart good. So,
Ixnay on the Earth Day.
Earth Day?
Earth Day. Ixnay on the Earth Day.
Earth Day. No, nope. Is this that secret human tongue? Please, Speak in the common tongue that we all understand.
They don't know.
So,
They're not aware
Please
of
go
it.
on. What were you about to tell us about the portals now?
you have amongst you many little tidbits of magic I can see. Well, at least she does and he does, pointing at Lolly and Moggets. You might be able to use them to create a burst of magical energy to open it up.
Every little thing I do is magic.
And Priest, are you Jonathan from your markings? I don't believe Jonathan has any kind of traveling abilities, does he?
Dimensional dooring.
Well, perhaps that will be enough if you grind up these items or burst them, and then you use that ability from your god and pray heartily. Maybe that'll be enough to activate the system without having to sacrifice a unicorn or summon a demon or kidnap me.
Do you have the abilities to operate the portals?
Oh,
Open
yeah.
Are you a
them?
demon?
If that is the case,
Do you want to go on an adventure?
certainly pay you for your time.
What are you offering in trade? I would like something either personal or just from your culture. Something
We offer
old.
Moggets.
I am no longer allowed to keep humans as pets. That was banned
He's personal.
probably 30 years ago. I mean, of course, the humans being the way they are, they never realized they were pets, but come on. I think you guys know. So,
Let's see.
what can you offer? It doesn't I'm not looking for anything all powerful, just something that has been amongst you or your people for as long as possible, so I can study the history by reading the energies coming from it.
I mean, you have this big keg of beer.
You leave my keg of beer alone. However, I do have several
See, I told you it was valuable.
Several what?
several flasks that have traveled from the monastery with me the whole time. And I will pull out. No. No.
What are you pulling out?
He's uncapping his flasks and sniffing each one.
Pretty much until I find. There it is. I will pull out flask number 1, her name is Lucy.
And he takes
Short for
Lucian's
Lucifer.
hand,
The Morning Star.
and he unscrews it and sniffs. Now, is this like the best one or the worst one?
It's the lowest one.
Okay.
Worst.
But then he says 3 or 4.
It's silver with essentially it's inscribed with the crest of the monastery on the front. Each one of my flasks has the same little symbol of Vayu, where whatever the goddess or god of knowledge is inscribed on the front.
Oh, very good. And you, young lady, I smell much
Sorry.
travel from you.
Oh, travel. Okay.
Even
Yes.
just your hat or your belt, I'll accept that. They have been places, haven't they?
He's trying to undress me.
He is.
I take off my boot and pull off a sock,
No,
and I offer it to him.
no. Thank you. I prefer something a little more
Master is giving Dobby a
solid.
sock. Dobby is free.
Metal holds the energy the best, so I'm looking at the buckle on your belt, or
He's
and
trying to get into your pants.
you, sir. Looking at Jaith, you, sir. I sense much travel with you. A lot of it perhaps mundane, I am sensing, but travel nevertheless. And you have been to Terry Luyen. That's the dwarven capital in the Rolling Mountains. And yes, you've been there at some point in time. Possibly not recently, but that's all.
Rated there.
That's also where a lot of the dwarves pulled in humans and others to shelter them for that dozen years right after the Talisman, where the whole world was just being ravaged.
Do you require something to keep or to study?
Oh, to keep. But, for example, you, Kavlon, I will give you another flask to replace this one. I'm not looking to loot your bodies of your cherished possessions. I just want something... Yes, Andrea?
Okay. I have a pouch that I've carried with me since the very beginning of Lolly. And I pull out a coin. It's metal.
Is it from the future?
Mm-hmm.
He says, yes,
Like,
that will do very
this
well.
do?
And he
They
holds
don't say it's from the future, but
No, well, he doesn't ask either. It just, I need to know if it has that level of energy on it where it's traveled through temporal rifts. He says, that will do nicely. And you, sir?
I will take out the guild artisan tools that I have, and I'll give him the stamp for the guild.
Oh. Now, are you sure you don't need this?
I don't.
Very good, then. I think this trade is accept. Wait, what did you want from me again? You want me to go with you. That's what it was, yes?
Yes, to activate the portal so we can get back to Dathan Pass without having to travel the month or so down through the mountains.
Without having to kill a unicorn.
And it's just
Well-
the four of you, yes?
I also have a
Steve.
a large bird that we travel with.
Mm-hmm.
I have my Merce. He's in the stable.
Ooh, really? Well, I will insist upon talking to him.
I'm not going to force him to talk to you. That's if he wants
I did
to.
not say he had to talk to me. I said I want to talk to him. If he chooses to speak back, that is his as an intelligent being. I do
Okay.
not force conversation. And, of course, with your pet human, there'll be no charge for that, any more than I would expect one of your horses to give me something. He
Bad
giggles.
Muggets, no.
Oh, there you go. Kevin says, I gift the party my wage check, which disappears through a black hole every damn month.
These strange pieces of paper just open up and fall out in front of me.
Somebody's getting their beak wet on it.
Very good. Very good.
Question.
Yeah.
When we came here, there was a burnt sign to a place called Border Town.
Yes.
What is it, and why is it not traveled?
That was a human town that got hit very hard by the terrors. And they inhabited it. It has said to be inhabited again. Matter of fact, I think by a bard named Willard. Willard Spokenton. Human, if I'm not mistaken, though I have not met him myself. And apparently the town is quite riddled with undead still. I don't know how Willard survives there or what he's doing there. But, yeah. I assume he's holed up in some inn happily drinking well-aged liquors.
Was it your people that isolated it?
Ish?
Ish.
You know, it's, I mean, we have discouraged people from going there. We have fought the creatures that have come here. We have, some decades back, sent forays there to contain it as best we can. By the way, Kavlon, you recognize the name Spokenton. It's in one of your books. Moggins, there's a chance you'd recognize it also, because you've also gone through the books fairly well, if not as well as he has. He's just a little more intense about it. So, when would you all like to start?
Tomorrow. Gather up the last of our supplies, head out tomorrow.
That's agreeable.
Sunrise?
Sure.
Very good. And he gives you directions to where he'll be waiting on the ground, and that'll give him a day to wrap up his stuff. And he says, in the meantime, I will study these items. Very well. Is there anything else I need to know that is of utmost urgency important to tell me so I am well prepared for this journey?
Nope.
Nope, if you like. Until.
Priest Jaith?
I wish you the best. I will see you early in the morning.
Very good. And he immediately rocks again and puffs on his pipe. And we'll wrap that up here.
Oh. Wizards speak.
That night, one more thing. Kavlon, you research that name in your books. Yeah, apparently Willard Spokenton, was well known for his drink. And that whole thing of the teleporting tap, the tap that teleports liquor, it's his name that's tied to that.
Gotcha.
He could be in that place forever.
And we'll end that here. Okay. For those of you, Kevin, that are still in chat, thank you for joining us. The offer is there if you ever decide to. Everybody else who is lurking, thank you for stopping in and hanging out with us. And I guess I'll do some outro music.
Off we go.
There we go, there it is.
Warlords squabble over
Catch
small
one's
patches
best.
of land. Priests call to the faithful, assuring their followers that the gods will spare them. Magic has reset the laws of nature. People struggle to survive, fearing their own kind as much as the monsters in the shadows. All this amongst the remnants of undead terrors, roaming demons and other horrors. This is the world now, entering a dark age where one must steal or use steel just to survive.